Every day on Velvet Screen Secrets, I dig up another story from the Golden Age, the kind of tales that built Hollywood's unforgettable legacy. If you love keeping these timeless memories alive, hit that subscribe button right now. It's free, but it means everything. Thank you for hanging out here with me. Now, let's dive into this mystery. Why does Angie Dickinson still refuse to watch one specific episode she filmed way back in 1959? Born Angeline Brown on September 30th, 1931, in the tiny town of Combs, North Dakota, Angie's story started far from the bright lights of Hollywood. She was the second of 4 daughters born to Frederica and Leo Henry Brown, a family that knew what hard work really meant. Her dad ran a small-town newspaper, chasing truth with ink-stained hands while trying to keep the family afloat during the rough years of the Great Depression. When Angie was just 10, her father packed up everything and moved the family to Burbank, California, searching for a better shot at life. Nobody could have guessed it then, but that one decision would change Angie's world forever. Back then, she wasn't dreaming of fame. She was focused on school, her books, and the stories her dad loved to tell. That love for storytelling started shaping her future without her even realizing it. After finishing Bellarmine Jefferson High School, Angie went on to Glendale Community College, then earned her business degree from Immaculate Heart College in Los Angeles. Little did she know, destiny was already setting the stage for a Hollywood icon to rise. At first, Angie Dickinson had her sights set on writing. She dreamed of chasing stories, not cameras, but fate had a wild twist waiting for her. In 1953, on a total whim, she entered a small-town beauty pageant, and guess what? She made it all the way to the Miss America preliminaries as a finalist. That unexpected spotlight changed everything. Suddenly, the girl who wanted to be behind the headlines was standing right in front of them. Thanks to that attention, TV producers started calling, small parts here and there, and her confidence grew fast. With that natural charm, a sharp wit, and those unforgettable looks, casting directors couldn't take their eyes off her. Her climb to fame didn't explode overnight, but it never stopped moving up. In 1954, she made her film debut in Warner Brothers' crime drama Lucky Me, and from that moment, the screen seemed to belong to her. Before long, she was lighting up westerns, a genre that would shape her early Hollywood identity. Angie wasn't just another pretty face. She was fire and grit rolled into one, playing women who didn't need saving from anyone. Then came her true breakthrough, 1959's legendary western Rio Bravo, directed by Howard Hawks, where she starred opposite the mighty John Wayne and smooth-talking Dean Martin. As Feathers, the flirtatious yet razor-sharp gambler, Angie proved she could stand toe-to-toe with Hollywood's biggest legends. Her perfect mix of smarts, spark, and allure became her signature style. Through the swinging 60s and bold 70s, Angie cemented her place as a powerhouse leading lady, gliding between hit films and TV shows with ease. And this was just the beginning of her reign. From the bold crime drama The Killers in 1964 to the slick heist sensation Ocean's 11 in 1960, Angie Dickinson proved she could move through genres like it was nothing. Starring alongside Frank Sinatra and the legendary Rat Pack, she didn't just fit in, she shined. Her close friendship with Sinatra only added more sparkle to her image, making her one of those rare stars who could glide between Hollywood glamour and high society charm without breaking a sweat. But Angie wasn't just a beauty in a fancy dress. She had serious acting chops. Directors adored her for the emotion she could pour into a scene, and audiences felt every ounce of that fire and softness she brought to the screen. She could switch from fierce to fragile in a heartbeat, and that's what made her unforgettable. Then came 1974, the role that turned her into a television icon. She became Sergeant Suzanne Pepper Anderson in the groundbreaking drama Policewoman. The show ran until 1978, and it completely flipped the script on what TV audiences were used to seeing. Back then, it was almost unheard of to have a woman leading a serious law enforcement drama. but Angie made it look effortless. Her performance as the tough yet compassionate detective didn't just earn her rave reviews. It brought her a Golden Globe, several Emmy nominations, and a permanent spot in television history. Even more powerful, she inspired a whole generation of women to picture themselves in real-life police roles, showing the world that strength and grace could coexist in one badge. Policewoman became the blueprint for every female-led cop show that followed. And through it all, Angie kept her shine, respected, admired, and forever stamped as one of Hollywood's most enduring legends. Even as the decades rolled on, Angie Dickinson never slowed down. She kept owning the screen straight through the 90s and early 2000s. In 1980, she turned heads in the thriller Dressed to Kill, playing a frustrated housewife whose performance earned serious praise from critics. Then in 2001, she teamed up again with director Brian De Palma for Big Bad Love, proving her talent was still as magnetic as ever. And when she popped up in a hilarious cameo on Family Guy, fans loved it. Angie showed she could laugh at herself and stay effortlessly cool no matter her age. What kept people hooked wasn't just her talent, but that unshakable poise and elegance that became her signature. Angie never lost her glow, that timeless grace that made her one of Hollywood's ultimate style icons. Whether walking the red carpet or being honored at film retrospectives, she carried herself with the confidence of a woman who had earned her place in Hollywood history. Today, Angie is celebrated as a true trailblazer, a woman who changed how female characters were seen on screen. She proved that women didn't have to play one-dimensional roles. They could be powerful, complicated, and right at the center of the story's drama. Her legacy ripples through generations, from the fearless detectives of Cagney and Lacey to Mariska Hargitay's commanding presence on Law & Order SVU. Angie showed the world that beauty and brains go hand in hand, and that real success comes from guts, versatility, and the courage to break Hollywood's old rules. Angie Dickinson's personal life had just as much intrigue as her Hollywood career, full of glamour, heartbreak, and unexpected twists. Her first marriage was to Gene Dickinson, a former college football star known for his athletic charm and good looks. The two tied the knot in 1952, right when Angie's acting career was starting to catch fire. At first, they looked like the perfect mid-century couple, young, magnetic, and full of dreams. Gene eventually stepped away from sports and went into the electronics business, while Angie's name started climbing higher and higher on studio call sheets. But fame has a way of testing any relationship, and theirs was no exception. As her star rose, the distance between them grew wider. They quietly separated in 1956, and though their divorce wasn't finalized until 1960, Angie chose to keep the last name Dickinson, and it became pure Hollywood gold. Her name alone started turning heads on movie posters everywhere. But Angie's world wasn't just about bright lights and red carpets. During this time, she struck up an unexpected and fascinating friendship with John Kenneth Galbraith, the famous economist and diplomat, and his wife, Catherine. The Galbraiths were towering figures in the worlds of politics and intellect, far removed from the glitz of Hollywood. They welcomed Angie into their circle, opening her eyes to conversations about global affairs, art, and diplomacy. She even joined them on international trips, including during Galbraith's time as U.S. ambassador to India from 1961 to 1963 under President John F. Kennedy. It was a whole new world, one where Angie could step away from the spotlight and dive into the kind of cultured, thoughtful discussions most stars never experienced. Those years around President Kennedy's era revealed a different side of Angie Dickinson, one the tabloids never fully captured. According to accounts in John Kenneth Galbraith's memoirs, Ambassador's Journal, and A Life in Our Times, Angie wasn't just another Hollywood guest passing through exotic places. She was a deeply curious, engaged traveler. She soaked up new cultures, paid attention to politics, and asked questions that showed her sharp mind. In a time when Hollywood often valued looks over intellect, Angie's curiosity and insight made her stand out in the most unexpected way. Then came 1965, and with it, another major chapter in her life, her marriage to the legendary Burt Bacharach, one of the greatest songwriters in American pop history. Bacharach had already shaped the sound of a generation, writing timeless hits for icons like Dionne Warwick and Dusty Springfield. When Angie and Burt came together, they instantly became one of the most glamorous and talked-about couples of the decade. Their faces lit up the pages of Life, People, and Time magazines. They were pure Hollywood royalty. But behind the sparkle, their love story had layers. Their marriage lasted an impressive 16 years, practically a lifetime by Hollywood standards. Yet it wasn't all smooth sailing. The pair went through rough patches, spending time apart and even exploring other relationships. Still, something powerful kept pulling them back together. That connection grew even stronger with the birth of their only child, Leah Nikki Bacharach, born on July 12, 1966. Angie adored her little girl, affectionately calling her Nikki. That bond became the emotional center of Angie's world, more precious to her than any award or headline ever could be. From a young age, Nikki Bacharach began showing signs of autism, though back then the world barely understood what that meant. The medical field was still learning, and families like Angie Dickinson's had to figure things out the hard way. Angie and Burt Bacharach dedicated their lives to giving their daughter the best care possible, facing emotional, medical, and everyday challenges that would test even the strongest parents. Nikki's journey wasn't easy. She struggled deeply with mental health and the unique difficulties of her condition. Every day was a battle for peace and stability, not just for her, but for her parents who loved her fiercely. Angie became more than a Hollywood star. She became a full-time advocate and caregiver, stepping away from big roles and red carpets so she could focus completely on her daughter's well-being. That kind of devotion showed the world what real strength looked like. But tragedy struck in 2007 when Nikki, after years of personal struggle, passed away at the age of 40. It was a heartbreaking loss that left Angie and Burt devastated beyond words. Angie later called it the most painful experience of her entire life, one she would never truly heal from. Burt too carried that sorrow through his remaining years, channeling much of it into his music. When Burt Bacharach passed away in 2023, he left behind not just a legacy of timeless songs, but the memory of a family that had lived through love, loss, and resilience. And through all of it, Angie kept moving forward, finding quiet strength in new beginnings, including a heartfelt companionship with singer-songwriter Billy Vera in the 1980s, a chapter filled with warmth and hard-earned peace. Billy Vera, best known for his soulful ballad At This Moment, brought a spark of fun and creativity back into Angie Dickinson's life. Their romance was playful, full of laughter and artistic energy, the kind of connection that reminded Angie what it felt like to just enjoy the ride. In 1981, she even made a cameo in Vera's music video for I Can Take Care of Myself, proving she could still shine in a pop culture world far different from her old-school Hollywood roots. She carried herself with confidence and a mature glamour that showed she wasn't trying to compete with anyone. She was simply owning her space.
Though their time together was short, it marked a refreshing new phase for Angie, one where she stepped back into the spotlight on her own terms, blending old-school elegance with modern flair. She wasn't chasing fame anymore. She was just living, loving, and staying true to herself. Then, in the 1990s, Angie caught the public's attention again when she entered a high-profile relationship with the legendary broadcaster Larry King, the man whose gravelly voice and no-nonsense style made him a TV icon. The two were often spotted at red carpet events and Hollywood galas, quickly becoming one of the most talked-about pairs of the decade. Their relationship didn't lead to marriage, but it was built on something even more lasting: mutual respect and admiration. Larry often praised Angie's intelligence, wit, and timeless beauty, while she admired his sharp mind and journalistic drive. Even after they went their separate ways, they stayed on friendly terms and spoke fondly of one another for years. And in her later interviews, Angie made a confession that always surprises fans. she still refuses to watch her 1959 classic Rio Bravo, the very film that skyrocketed her career. Whatever emotions that movie holds for her, one thing is certain: Angie Dickinson has lived every chapter of her life with heart, class, and unforgettable style. Rio Bravo might be adored by fans and cemented as a true Hollywood classic, but for Angie Dickinson, the film carries emotions too personal to relive, which is exactly why she still can't bring herself to watch it. Her hesitation isn't just about shyness or modesty. It runs much deeper. Angie has admitted that she's overly self-critical of her early performance, but it's also the memories behind the scenes, especially her connection with teen idol Ricky Nelson, that make it impossible for her to revisit it. Back in 1959, Angie was still a rising name, a young actress with talent, beauty, and determination, trying to carve her place in a tough industry. Before Rio Bravo, she'd had a few supporting TV parts and small film roles, but this was the big one. Her first major role in a film packed with Hollywood heavyweights like John Wayne and Dean Martin. She played Feathers, a confident, flirtatious gambler who catches the eye of Wayne's tough sheriff John T. Chance, a role that showed off her fire, wit, and undeniable charisma. But behind the glamour and chemistry on screen, Angie was fighting through nerves. She later confessed that filming Rio Bravo was both thrilling and terrifying. Standing beside giants like Wayne and Martin, she constantly questioned herself, wondering if she was strong enough, talented enough, or ready for that kind of spotlight. Those memories stayed with her, a mix of pride and vulnerability, tied to the most pivotal moment of her young career. For Angie, Rio Bravo isn't just a movie. It's a time capsule of raw emotion, self-doubt, and the pressure of becoming a Hollywood star before she truly felt ready. That mix of emotion and memory made Rio Bravo a film Angie Dickinson has never been able to sit through again. Not once. She's admitted that her performance, though loved by fans, still feels raw and uneven to her own eyes. That harsh self-criticism became something she carried for decades, making it nearly impossible for her to revisit the movie that launched her into stardom. But the real weight of Rio Bravo runs deeper than any artistic doubt. It's tied to personal memories she never quite escaped. One of the most powerful reasons Angie avoids the film comes down to Ricky Nelson, the beloved teen idol who was just 18 years old when he played Colorado Ryan, the skilled young gunslinger fighting alongside John Wayne and Dean Martin. At the time, Ricky wasn't just another young actor. He was a national sensation, already famous from his hit songs and his role on the wholesome TV classic The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. On set, Angie, then in her late 20s, formed a warm and genuine friendship with Ricky. The two bonded naturally through the long filming days, the nerves and the excitement of working on a massive Hollywood production. Angie later spoke about Ricky with deep tenderness, describing him as a kind, gentle soul with a quiet charm that made everyone around him feel at ease. She admired his natural talent, his kindness, and his effortless grace in front of the camera. Those fond memories became bittersweet after Ricky's tragic death years later, turning Rio Bravo from a proud milestone into a painful reminder of someone she truly cared for. For Angie, watching the movie isn't just about revisiting her younger self. It's about reliving a moment in time she still feels in her heart. Ricky Nelson's tragic death in a 1985 plane crash at just 45 years old left a wound that Angie Dickinson never truly healed from. For her, watching Rio Bravo would mean facing the smiling, youthful version of a dear friend forever frozen in time. A bright, talented soul taken far too soon. The thought of hearing his voice, seeing that easy grin, and reliving those moments on screen still hits her deeply even decades later. It's more than nostalgia. It's emotional heartbreak captured on film. But the pain doesn't end there. Rio Bravo also mirrors a bittersweet chapter of Angie's own life, one filled with ambition, uncertainty, and the raw energy of a young woman trying to find her place in a man's world. The film isn't just a Western to her. It's a snapshot of a defining moment, her youthful hope, her self-doubt, and her first taste of real stardom, all wrapped into one unforgettable experience. To watch it again would mean reliving those days under the hot studio lights, surrounded by legends like Howard Hawks, John Wayne, and Dean Martin, men who defined Hollywood's golden masculinity, while Angie fought to prove she belonged right beside them. Every frame of that movie holds the thrill of her early dreams, but also the quiet fears she carried as a woman navigating a male-dominated industry. That's why Rio Bravo remains both a triumph and a tender scar for her, a reminder of how far she came and what she had to overcome. So while the world celebrates Rio Bravo as one of the all-time great westerns, Angie chooses to leave it in the past, because to her, that film isn't just entertainment, it's a piece of her soul frozen in time. For Angie Dickinson, Rio Bravo isn't just a film, it's a deeply emotional time capsule packed with triumphs, insecurities, and the lingering ache of losing a young friend far too soon. Every frame holds memories she's chosen to keep private, the laughter, the nerves, and the haunting reminder of Ricky Nelson, forever frozen in youth and promise. That's why Angie still keeps that chapter unwatched, tucked away like a precious but painful keepsake from another lifetime. After decades of quiet reflection and fiercely guarded privacy, the woman who dazzled Hollywood with her poise and strength is finally speaking from the heart. Angie Dickinson, the legendary actress whose luminous career has stretched across more than 50 years, has chosen to open up, not for scandal, but for truth.
Her words carry weight, especially when they touch on Ricky Nelson, the name forever tied to the golden age of rock and roll and early television fame. For years, whispers and speculation followed them. Stories of what might have been passed around in hushed Hollywood circles. Yet through it all, Angie stayed silent, handling the gossip with her signature grace and discretion, always protecting her own dignity and Ricky's memory. Now, at 93 years old, she's ready to tell her side, the real story behind their connection, the warmth and emotion that shaped it, and how it stayed with her long after the camera stopped rolling. Her decision to finally open up is powerful, not just for fans of classic Hollywood and vintage music, but for anyone who's admired her courage to face life's rumors and heartaches with elegance and truth. Angie Dickinson's reflections reveal a rare emotional depth, the kind that only comes from living through the highs and heartbreaks of real Hollywood life. She paints a vivid portrait of a time when fame wasn't just glamorous, it was consuming, shaping every friendship, every romance, and every choice. When Angie speaks of Ricky Nelson, her tone softens. She remembers his youthful spark, that effortless charm that made people stop and stare, and the natural charisma that lit up both the stage and the screen. But what she admired most was his kindness, the genuine warmth that made him unforgettable to so many, including her. Yet Angie doesn't shy away from the shadows behind all that fame. She talks about the loneliness that comes with life in the spotlight, the constant pressure to keep smiling, and the emotional weight of being loved by the world but not always understood. Loving someone as visible as Ricky came with its own heartbreak, one that left lasting marks on them both. She recalls how their lives intersected at a turning point, both of them standing on the edge of big change, both learning what it meant to chase dreams while protecting their hearts. Their bond was real, intense, complicated, and impossible to forget. In Opening Up Now, Angie isn't chasing gossip. She's honoring Ricky Nelson. She remembers him not just as a teen idol or a rock and roll legend, but as a kind, soulful man trying to navigate love, fame, and loss in a world that never stopped watching. Like all of us, Angie Dickinson spent her life searching for meaning, for balance between love, privacy, and truth. She's openly shared how keeping her emotions guarded was her way of surviving Hollywood's endless scrutiny, protecting not only herself, but also Ricky Nelson's memory from the harsh glare of public curiosity. Back then, silence was her armor. Now, with age and wisdom, she's learned that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's a sign of strength. For the first time, fans and historians are getting a rare, unfiltered look at the woman behind the headlines. Not the movie star in perfect lighting, but the real Angie Dickinson, full of heart, honesty, and reflection.
Her story reminds us that human relationships, especially under fame's constant spotlight, are never simple. They're layered with emotion, misunderstanding, and courage. In speaking out, Angie has done something remarkable. She's turned her silence into a statement of grace. Her decision to finally share her truth isn't about gossip, it's about healing, legacy, and respect. It's a bold act of courage from a woman who has lived through every shade of Hollywood, the glory, the pain, and the lessons that come with it. And through her words, Ricky Nelson's legacy shines even brighter. We see him not just as a rock and roll legend, but as a deeply human soul, someone whose life and love left a mark on everyone he touched, including Angie herself. Here at Velvet Screen Secrets, we keep stories like this alive. Stories that reveal the truth behind the fame and the hearts behind the legends. If Angie and Ricky's story moved you, drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to Velvet Screen Secrets for more untold tales from Hollywood's golden age.